I'm generally supportive on safety grounds of reducing, but I do agree with your concerns. Reinforceability. I live in a 20 mile an hour school zone. Both main streets in my ward are 20 mile an hour zones, and I'd agree that you quite often see people exceeding 20 mile an hour, and I don't think I ever saw anyone have any form of rebuke for that. My question, however, is on Section 9. I was living in Edinburgh, and I believe around 2016-ish, when they moved to a large number of the roads, almost all of them, to 20 mile an hour zones. And there was a lot of debate at the time whether that was a good move environmentally. Obviously, driving at slower speeds does use less petrol, and that's good. But there's also debate around how much waiting you'd be doing, and whether there'd be more idling, wasting petrol that way. So I mean, I don't know the answer. So I was hoping that in this report we would see something at Section 9 discussing that, because obviously that is the section for climate change and environmental implications. So I was just wondering if there had been any work done to assess the environmental impact of reduced road speeds.
So is that number 7, Stuart? Stuart's going to attempt to address that question, Cal.
Yeah, that is an interesting point, and it is something that we have been looking into. Some of the evidence that's out there suggests that dropping the speed limits doesn't necessarily create any environmental issues. It more or less balances out. Mm-hmm. And one of the papers I was reading recently, it talks about where, if you're driving a petrol or diesel car, where at what point do the pollutants become more, and it's really in the acceleration. So if you're accelerating from 0 to 20, or from 0 to 20 obviously, to 30, the higher the speed you accelerate to, then you're creating more pollutants. And I think, as you said, if you're travelling at a set speed, then you're not going to be churning out as much emissions as you would be if you were accelerating and consequently decelerating to speed up again. So if you're travelling at a more steady speed, then that helps.
Does that can address your question there, Cal?
Almost. It's more just on whether or not more cars driving at lower speeds does create more waiting, which obviously would therefore be wasted fuel rather than the fuel. But I accept that the officers may not have an answer to that in the room. It's just in future, obviously, we have these kind of standard sections in our reports, and it'd be good if things like that could be considered. Thank you.